Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, but not My Mom's Basement today. It is From the Top Rope once again with Jared Carrabis, and we're running this back. We just did an episode, and when we did that, I think at the end we were like, we got to get back in the basement soon, maybe Royal Rumble. And then John Cena had his final match at Saturday night's main event last night, and you texted me pretty much right away. Here we go. Let's get into it. You said you're available for media. I did a quick 15-minute ramble sesh last night, but Jared, what are your opinions? What are your thoughts on John Cena's final match?
So I watched it not live because we had our Christmas party last night. So I immediately came home. I have like the dork party chat. I didn't look, like it was blowing up. I didn't look at anything. I saw you text me. You said fuck, and I was like, I don't want any spoilers, Bob. I was like, I don't know what that means. But you're like, I
backtracked.
You're like, it's because the Cena era is over. I'm just sad about it. And I was like, okay.
Did you buy that?
Not really.
Okay.
Like I took that as he lost.
Damn.
I didn't take it.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
No, but like it's fine because the real, I guess, like I still had the same reaction that everyone else did. Like he tapped. Like you didn't say
it was how it happened, right?
Yeah, how it happened was the thing. It wasn't, if he lost, it was not going to surprise me by any means. That was actually one of the questions that we had. So we had like the Christmas party last night, and we did like a Q&A for an hour. And one of the questions was, what do you think of John Cena tonight? And I said, I think, like they started to do like the unreal, like that, like kayfabe's broken. Like it's a different era. It's a different generation. I don't think that Cena necessarily has to lose this match because he put over Dom on the way out. Like he like, if you're going to pass the torch, if you're going to leave this place better than where you found it, like putting over Dom is doing that. So now it sets the stage for his final match to be something that's different, and it at least leaves the door open for him to win. And I think everyone who bought a ticket to that show last night was probably expecting him to win. I've seen like a bunch of fan reactions being like, the crowd we just wanted to celebrate Cena. Like we didn't want to feel like we were mourning Cena. We wanted to celebrate Cena, and everyone walking out, it was like we were mourning the loss of John Cena instead of being like, yeah, like what an ending to a great career. It was like, man, how the fuck can you do Cena like that? And like you made the best point last night when we were texting, like his whole thing is never give up, and he hadn't tapped in over 20 years. And it's like, all right, kids, maybe there is a time where you do give up. Like
it's like we finally got this guy to give up. All right, get him out of here. He gave up.
Yeah.
I wanted to read you a post because there's a post going, I don't want to say it's going viral, but it's like at the top of Squared Circle today, specifically about that point. Like Mr. Never Give Up gave up. And I wanted to read this whole thing to you. It's long, but
okay.
The finish to last night's main event is deservingly everywhere on the internet right now. The sentiment shared with it, however, is wrong. What everyone is thinking is the one who never gave up finally gave up. He tapped out, which he hadn't done since he became the John Cena we know today. 20 years. It was 2004 the last time he tapped, since he adapted his core message that he spread for so many years as a WWE star. But people are missing one crucial fact. Cena smiled right before he tapped out, which is true. He gave that little content smile, which says something that he wasn't forced to give up. It wasn't him saying, I can't take this anymore, which is generally what it means to tap out. His gesture really meant that he has finally found peace, that he is satisfied with what he's done for the business, and he's done everything he could do. His promise was to take nothing with him and to leave the business better than he found it, particularly in the last 10 years. He's come back every time only to help, not to ask, what do you got for me, but what can I do for you? And yesterday was Cena realizing that he'd finally done that he had given all the momentum back that he had earned, that he was finally ready to let it go, and that in good spirit, he could say goodbye. And to that, I say, as Jared just said, he passed the torch to Dom. He passed the torch to Cody at SummerSlam. He even put over Brock on his way out, which we can get into that too, because the fact that he did that was fucking crazy, considering this is how they were going to end it. I assume we're going to build the Gunther and Brock in this super, Hoss battle, and Brock will eventually put over Gunther, and Gunther's kind of the new legend killer, and he's got this crazy resume. That's all fine and dandy. You didn't have to do both. You really didn't. You didn't have to do the Cena-Brock squash match in front of all the kids that walked Cena out if you were going to do it with Gunther here because Brock didn't need the rub. And honestly, Gunther didn't need it either. Halfway through that match, I was actually sold on Gunther as the final opponent. I love Gunther. I think he's awesome. He's one of my favorites today. But when they booked him as Cena's final opponent, we talked about it. We were kind of like, I don't know. There's nothing there. I understand that he's the next generation and he's the big dastardly heel. So it's kind of like the perfect Cena match type.
He's almost 40 though.
I know that's the thing is he's not like Braun Breaker, who they mysteriously kept Cena apart from the entire run. I've seen some people bringing that up as well. Like we're talking about him as the next generation. He's 27, 28, and he's got a decade ahead of him. They kept them apart. But it's strange that they went with Gunther, but halfway through the match, I was like, they made the right call because this is the perfect Cena, Super Cena, like rise. You could see it building. You could see he was taking the heat all match. You could tell they had the crowd in the palm of their hands. I was like, I'm sold. If this is what the thought was, let's put him against the biggest, just hateable heel that we have. The crowd loves to hate this guy. And take you through almost the greatest hits of Cena's career. And he's doing the leg drop off the top rope. Michael Cole's calling the STFU and the FU. He's doing shit off the top rope. He's doing that feats of strength where you're like, I can't believe he's picking Gunther up like he's a baby right now. But to end it like that, I was like, okay, no, never mind on the Gunther as the final opponent, because that's not how I wanted to see it end. And I'm getting a lot of flack for my opinions on this. A lot of flack from old timers. They're saying Bob doesn't know ball now. They're saying this is the business, it's tradition, everything that you kind of laid out that people say. My opinions haven't changed, though. I was talking to Brandon Walker about this. We both agreed that tradition started in like a time where the business was way different. It was put over the guy that's going to be here next week because you want to actually make sure that he's able to continue selling tickets to put food on the table for his family. This is the territory days we're talking about. Gunther didn't need the rub. People aren't going to say Gunther's nothing if he loses to Cena in his final match. It was enough of a rub to be the final opponent, to get that honor, to be the person selected, to be like, hey, you're sending Cena into the sunset. So that was just strange to me. It was everything about that. My opinions, again, haven't changed. Like I'm sticking to my guns on Cena should have went over. Break tradition. It's a once in a lifetime. 99 times out of 100, go with tradition. I understand why you do that. This was a once in a lifetime thing that you're not going to be able to get back. I said if he powered out in, when they did the arm drop thing, and then he fucking put up the hustle, loyalty, respect hand, which I think has been co-opted by someone else. I said if he would have just powered up, hit an AA, 1, 2, 3, confetti falls from the rafters, people might look at that as like an all-time moment in his career and in wrestling. You're not going to like this comparison. I said it's Jeter walking off in his final at bat at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, that's what fake. People wanted to see.
Yeah, so here's where I'm at. I was fine with him losing, but pin him. Don't have him tap.
Yeah.
Don't because then
have him pass out, dude. Have him have the final message be that he never gave up.
Give him the Steve Austin, Bret Hart finish, WrestleMania 13. It's right there. Give him that finish. Like having him tap.
Do the Crimson Mask too. You couldn't let him get the fucking Crimson Mask for his final match.
It almost, I don't know. Like it's kind of like when the Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That didn't do anything for Roman. It was like, yeah, well, he's just old now. Like it is what it is. Like if you didn't get the Brock pin at WrestleMania 30, then like it doesn't hit the same. But if Gunther just beat him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, then like I feel like it's like, all right, yeah, like it's time to say goodbye. It's a little better
too. I don't know if I loved Cena's like smile. I don't know what he thought and said. Maybe he did think he was like accepting fate. It was like he was accepting death or something. It was so strange.
And I've said this so many times on this show. I'm not necessarily a Cena guy. And I think a lot of that has to do with how he is away from the ring. Like his interviews are so fucking bland. Like all the like on TikTok, all the people making fun of Cena, like doing like skits, pretending to be Cena in interviews, they're all spot on. Like if you're hey John, like what do you hope your legacy is? Well, my legacy is whatever people want it to be, and
Well, I wrote
really
this one
doesn't
down,
matter in the end
actually.
because my career's over and this and that, and it's like it's up to the universe.
Dude, I wrote one down because I wanted to bring this up. Someone asked Cena on Twitter, what is the greatest moment of his career? He said, to humbly accept the reality that it exists. What the fuck
Why can't he just answer
dude?
a fucking question?
Say a match. Say a moment. Say a city. I'm wondering if he's ever going to tell us his favorite match now, because his whole career, he was asked that 1,000 times. He'd always say, my next one. My favorite match is always my next. Well, you're telling us now there's never going to be a next one. You're telling us never, not the Saudi money can get me back. Nothing can get me back. So what's your favorite match? I'm curious. I'm very curious at this point. It's weird. Did you see he turned it off for Rogan a little bit? Like Bill Simmons got corporate robot Cena, and then Rogan got like, I'm hanging with the bros. He code switched, but to bro talk.
Yeah, I didn't. I was gonna watch it. I saw it was like 2.5 hours. I was like, I don't know if I got that in me for like Cena, just because
it is good. It's interesting. Yeah.
I'll probably watch it knowing that you said that, but
it's way better than the Bill Simmons one.
Okay, yeah, the Bill Simmons one and like the Chris Van Vliet one, it's just complete robot talk. And I think he went on.
It's not their fault either. I think Cena just decides who's gonna get robot Cena and who's gonna get my guard is down Cena.
Who the fuck has ever gotten my guard is down Cena? Honestly, besides Joe Rogan.
Like Howard Stern and Joe Rogan. Howard Stern 15
that
years
one, that's a
ago
great interview. That's where he was talking about
he
was talking about banging like 400-pound chicks and stuff like that.
That was, I've never seen Cena like that. I think that Cena's dead,
like, he doesn't exist
that Cena doesn't exist anymore. Which, speaking of sin, listen, morbid, knock on wood, I don't want to talk about Cena being dead, but I mentioned this in my 15-minute ramble last night. On the pre-show, Michael Cole was like, and we're here to celebrate the final match of John Cena's life. It's like, don't say it like that. It sounded like they were going to execute him in the ring right afterwards.
I believe him when he says this is it.
I do too.
Like, he is,
and I'm getting a lot of flack for that too. I'm trying to tell like old timers, like, no, he's really done. And they're like, yeah, sure, kid.
I mean, he's got all the money in the world and he's acting, like it's not like he's ever going to need the paycheck
for so much longer than everyone else. Like,
you
could say The Rock, oh, he came back. Stone Cold, oh, he came back. They both kind of like got their careers cut short. The Rock decided to cut his career short with Hollywood. Stone Cold got his career cut short, but The Rock never said never for like 4 or 5 years. Exactly. He never said no. He's still not saying never. I think he'll still have a final match
on this show. Austin
did, and then he went back. And you know what? When they did his retirement match, they decided to send him into the sunset with a happy ending, and it was the greatest thing. We still talk about how awesome that match was.
That was a great match.
They said Sting laid the blueprint. Like, they have showed that for an Austin, for a Sting, for a John Cena, you can break tradition. And it's not going to ruin anything. Again, like if Cena would have beat Gunther, it doesn't hurt Gunther in the slightest. Gunther could have won the Royal Rumble, rebounded, and then that's that. But instead, we're going to get Gunther and Brock. Who gives a fuck about Brock either?
Like, so here's the thing. Here's how I feel about retirement matches and the final match of a wrestler's career or whatever. Like, I don't consider the Kevin Owens match to be Austin's last match. It's the WrestleMania match against The Rock.
It was like an epilogue.
Yeah, like the Shawn Michaels last match. It was against The Undertaker. It wasn't the fucking Brothers of Destruction and DX. Like it's like it's nice to see that you've gotten back. It's almost like when like the Yankees do the Old Timers Day. It's like that's not my last at bat at Yankee Stadium. It was when I fucking hit a softball over a fake fence. It was when I played in this game. So I think there's room for Cena maybe like 10 years from now, just being like, you know what? I'm coming back to have a match against
you just said you believe him though.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's going to be something like that where it's like,
then you don't believe him. Because he's saying I'm not doing that specifically. He's saying I'm not doing that. That's going back on his word. That Shawn Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels, but he went back on his word.
He got me a little Saudi money though.
I know, and that hurt me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That was the greatest retirement we ever saw. Fucking spitting Undertaker's face and getting the fucking jumping tombstone. Then he went back on it and made a disgrace out of that.
Yeah, but is it
your boy Kane's mask falling off? His wig was everywhere.
Let's not get into that. Everyone had a bad match. There's no need to single anybody out. But does it not I guess come across better that he came out of retirement in a match against The Undertaker, though? So he's not disrespecting The Undertaker. The Undertaker was in the match.
it almost makes it worse that the two of them decided to run it back like that.
I think that's just one of those things where we forget that it ever happened and we just don't talk about it.
Oh, totally. I try to get that out of my brain every chance I could get. Yeah. I would
Yeah.
go to like electroshock therapy if I could get that out of my brain.
Yeah, I mean, Taker's had too many of those.
Taker's had 100 retirement matches. Ric Flair obviously has had 100 retirement matches. I think Hogan had 100. Like Rico asked me last night, what was Hogan's big last match? And I was like, he didn't really have like a big last match because he went to TNA afterwards and he was doing like 6-man tags with Ric Flair where the two of them would blade 2 seconds into it. They would be on a house show. Be like, you don't need to blade on a house show, brother. You're 70. What's going on? So it's like for Cena to decide this, get it, and everything was perfect. Like the stage, not perfect, but like the stage was set last night for him to knock that out of the ballpark. For them to just have an all-time, let's forget about how this run has kind of been a flop, and let's just have a good night celebrating Cena. I thought the stars ringside were cool. I wish there was more, to be honest. I don't know if they invited more and just like people couldn't make it out.
Was that
I
the
wish there was
surprise
like a
that you were telling me about?
No, Joe Hendry. That was the surprise.
Oh, so I
I
must have fast forwarded too far. I didn't see that.
Okay, so right before Cena's final match, The Miz was in the ring, which I thought this was actually a good segment. He was wearing all the gear he was wearing at WrestleMania 27. And he's like, I'm not letting this retirement tour pretend I don't exist. What the hell is going on here? And R-Truth's music hit, and R-Truth came out as Ron Cena. And he was like, I've been seeing all this shit you've been saying. We got one more Ron Cena moment. And he said, like, you know, you stole something from Adam Pearce. You stole one of those balls. They did the segment where he stole like one of the balls with the names in them. And he pulls the name out, and you could read through it. It said Joe Hendry. And then they just zoom in, and Hendry was already on the apron, which really popped me. He did the turnaround. He was already there. And Hendry and R-Truth hit the 5-knuckle shuffle on The Miz right before the match, which I did say felt a little bit like the opener playing one of the headliner songs right before they come out. I was like, oh, they're doing the 5-knuckle shuffle. You can't see me. Like Cena's coming out in 5 minutes. He's about to do that. So they kind of burned him on that. But, you know, the crowd was so loud for Cena, it didn't matter. His entrance, that was awesome. They kind of fucked him on the Stu shot.
They did.
You wanted to get a shot of Stu, and they kept cutting to the wrong camera.
Right.
I was in my living room yelling to the production truck. I was like, one, go to one.
Yeah. He was like, what did he say? He was like, this is going to be weird, Stu, or something like that.
Yeah. He's like, this is going to feel a little weird. Also, people found out last night, Stu's not his name. His name's like Tom Stewart. It's his last name. So that stunned the wrestling world. We were shocked.
Oh, yeah. I never knew that. I love how, I don't know if you watch his vlogs, but like Logan Paul has kind of taken the torch on being the Stu guy.
He has. I have noticed that. And you know what? The more Stu, the better. That's what I say. Logan Paul's vlogs, they're dangerous because I still don't really love this guy, but his vlogs make him a little bit likable. I'll be honest.
You'll come around on him. You have to like watch his pot. He like, I understand it's you're getting worked, brother. Like he's a good dude. He means well. He understands a bit. Yes. He's done some dumb shit like in his younger years, but who of us have not?
Fair. I don't like Jake.
Jake's fucking great too.
Oh no!
Yes,
Rock.
You're getting worked.
No,
you're getting worked. He's very
Jake
funny.
Logan,
he's very nice.
I'll let you go there. Very funny, very nice. The glazing on this guy, fucking Krispy Kreme 3-pack glazed donut you just put on him.
No, Jake and Logan are completely different than like the YouTube Vine versions of themselves.
Jake, I can't get behind.
Hasn't Jake? I forget who it was, but he like there was like a fighter that was struggling and like he like reached out and like
Ben
paid his bill.
Askren, that was super nice,
yeah. Like yes. I'll defend the Logan Paul.
Nice things. I'm not saying a bad guy can't do nice things.
What has he done that's so bad?
Jake Paul, he's just such a phony the way he has gone about this whole boxing career. And I mean, he's smart. You know, I understand.
He's a businessman.
You're a mark.
You're a mark, Bob. You're a mark.
I don't. If you tell me I'm getting worked by Jake Paul, that's fun. Logan, I can tolerate. Jake Paul's he's a scumbag. He talks about fighter pay. I don't think he actually cares about fighter pay that much.
Why would he talk about it that much if he has no benefit?
brother, he signed up with the PFL in 2022, promising a MMA fight by the end of the year. His clock's still ticking. That's never going to happen. He
So
does
you took
things
that
and
as a
just never
personal
follows
slight.
up
That's
on
what
them.
this is about.
It's not a personal slight. It's just he makes announcements that I know aren't going to happen. I say in the moment they're not going to happen. And the Jake Paul Bobos like yourself say, oh, no, you're just a hater. You're getting worked. And then it's 4 years later. And I'm like,
You are getting
so
worked. If that's
what's
the
going
worst
on?
thing you can think of that he's done is that he agreed to do an MMA fight and didn't do it, then I think he's doing just fine.
I'm sure he's done worse stuff. Sure he's done. He comes after Uncle Dana all the time. Gotta have Uncle Dana's back.
That's what this is about. You love Uncle Dana.
A little bit,
and,
yeah.
and
Uncle
they
Dana
hate each other. They
just
hate
got
each
the
other.
wedding
So you
money
gotta
for me,
defend your
yeah.
guy. That's fine. That's fine. I can
That's a little
respect
bit
that.
of it, but I hated Jake Paul way before the Uncle Dana stuff. I was in a Jake Paul
I hated
vlog.
it.
I was in the office when he came in.
Right. So when he came into the office, I was like, these guys suck. Like I was definitely in the camp of like the Paul brothers are attention-seeking dorks, and like Justin Bieber, his music stinks. Now I love the Biebs and I love the Paul brothers. They've evolved. You have to
all right.
evolve.
His music's good.
Yeah. Same thing with me.
And
Like the Barstool fans, they still hate me for being a loudmouth, obnoxious douchebag in 2018 and 2019. It's almost 2020.
Well, they're
you've got to
get
let
mad at you
people
for coming after Barstool in 2025 too.
Big difference between Barstool and one individual.
Which that one individual is the one that the most tied to Barstool. No,
I mean that's like coming at Vince and saying, "Don't come at WWE."
You stoked the flames a little. They played Vince's voice last night too.
They did, which I picked up on immediately.
Cena up, which was weird too. And I understand it. Like Vince basically like gave him his life and was his guy for 20 years, but it was weird that the whole night he didn't really get choked up, and then the second he heard Vince's voice, it was like, oh, really? That's the poop guy's doing it for you, Cena?
That was a big part of what I guess left a bitter taste in my mouth. Not just the fact that he tapped out. It was the fact that he was even robotic in his final moments.
The bows, dude. What was the bow?
The bows were weird. How uncomfortable I think he felt with Punk and Cody putting their titles on him and like asking him to hold up the titles.
Did he remember what that callback was? I didn't. I saw people pointed out afterwards that Cena and Batista did that to Hogan in 2005, and they gave him his titles out of respect when he was done with WWE. I did not remember that personally.
Me neither.
I don't think Cena knew what was happening. Maybe he did. He seems like from the Bill Simmons podcast and everything, he seems to have an incredible memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. It's not a moment that I think most wrestling fans remember. Maybe I'm crazy in saying that, but like when they did that,
not even jogging
part of me.
It was
like, oh, they're doing the callback full circle.
Yeah, it's not even jogging memory for me. I don't even think I've seen that.
They did the same thing. It was like Hogan was in the middle of the ring with the two titles. And like seeing the callback, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It is a full circle moment. It was just kind of a specific thing. And then no speech. What did you think about no speech? Do you think he's just saving it for the Hall of Fame? Were you expecting a speech?
I hated that too. Like I remember the Flair thing. I mean, I don't remember Flair's speech, but it just felt like more.
He did it on the Raw the next day.
Yeah, it was like more of a memory, like a moment. Yeah, like there's not many empty the locker room, give a guy a standing ovation type performers that like I don't know. I felt like I didn't love the finish. I didn't love how I guess like robotic he was even after. It was almost just like, yeah, I told you I was leaving. All right, see ya. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye. Like I don't know.
The Triple H booze made it awkward. I was like almost like in a weird way. I don't root for this to happen because it hindered the moment, didn't ruin the moment, but it made the moment weird. I was kind of grateful that Triple H had to deal with the music, face the music in that moment where it was like, hey man, you're making this moment awkward. And I know he in his mind thinks it was the right thing to do, the way he was talking on the post show. I'm going to do what I think is best for this business. And we ushered in a new era of the business. Do you think in his mind, though, walking out as people are chanting, you fucked up, and John Cena's in the ring one final time, is there any part of him that's like, maybe I did fuck up? Do you think he has that like humility, that self-awareness?
So I watched clips of the post show and he seemed rattled by it then.
Like he's getting AEW chants behind him on the post show.
Yeah, like when he was like, oh, I thought you guys would be louder. Like I don't know. I feel like if you're not
Why would you
bothered,
think that? You just
yeah, like
fucking killed their hopes and dreams.
if you're not bothered by it, I don't think you acknowledge it, but he did acknowledge it. So there had to be some level of discomfort there. But I don't know, like if you take John Cena at his word, he's done plenty of interviews where he has said, like I don't choose the opponents. Like everyone thinks that like I'm picking my opponents and I'm gonna do what I want to do. He's like, I wanted to do
They
200
deal the
days.
cards, I play them. Like
Yeah,
he's always hitting that line. Yeah.
the heel turn, not my idea. Like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. And I think that go if we're to take him at his word, that goes right down to who the final opponent was, what the finish was, and how
That
it
is
was.
true. People were bringing up maybe Cena refused, and it's like maybe it's his final match, and he said, "Fuck it." For the first time in my career, I'm going to put my foot down and say I want it to go like this. There's a chance, I guess. Maybe we'll see it on Unreal in the future, but I think the cards were dealt to him, and he played it. I think that's how it always goes. I think that's what he told people on his final run when people were saying, "I want a match with Cena, and we could make it happen, get the fans behind it." Cena would always be like, "I don't know, whatever they tell me to do, I'll do." That's how he's ran his whole career.
Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, does it really matter? It happened. There's no taking
We'll
it
get
back.
over it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that's how I feel about the whole run. Is like there's no getting that one back. That whole final run where we saw an Unreal, it'd be hard to fuck up page 500 of a 499 page, but whatever. They fucked it up. They did, and there was highlights. It wasn't all bad. I'm not trying to be the negative wrestling fan. They ruined everything. There was definitely highlights. I loved the mini Dom feud. I love the stuff we talked about on the last podcast. But we'll look back at this match and the entire run more as a what if than a remember when. It's not a remember how awesome that was.
Yeah.
It was, well, it'd be cool if they did that a little differently.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm looking to just move forward and move past this because them fucking up his heel turn is at the epicenter of what has turned me off from watching recently. Like I remember we were down in spring training for Elimination Chamber, and when that heel turn happened, I was freaking the fuck out in our Airbnb and couldn't wait to see what happens next. And here we are almost a year later, and I'm like, man, thank God that's over so we can just forget about it and move on. And
how much of that's on The Rock?
a lot of it's on The Rock. A lot of it's on The Rock and fucking Travis Scott. Like Logan kind of aired him out on his last podcast.
I appreciated that. Yeah, it gave us a little bit of insight into Travis Scott no showing the day the 6-man tag was supposed to be announced. It was Logan, Cena, and Travis Scott against Cody and the Usos, Money in the Bank. And that was, I remember that being rumored. We were all talking about like, oh yeah, apparently Travis Scott's been training. They're going to do a 6-man tag, get his feet wet, and figure out what to do with him going from there. Yeah. Apparently he no-showed, and WWE said, fuck it, you can't do that in this business, live TV business. That's strike 1 year out, basically, which is crazy considering, like, you look back at some of the clips, though, and the way Triple H and The Rock and Travis Scott were talking, this is going to be my full-time job. I want to do nothing but this now. They played Fiend 10,000 fucking times over WrestleMania weekend. They were all in on him. They attached him to John Cena breaking Ric Flair's record. He was like the sole reason why it happened. He was John Cena's heel turn. I don't have to tell you guys. You guys all fucking watched along with us. And then The Rock put out his nice little video for Cena right before his match. Oh, I want to thank you for all the things you've done. How about, hey, man, sorry I left you high and dry. So sorry that, this final run didn't go the way we thought it would at the beginning of it, because I think a lot of that is on him. And Triple H is probably dealing with the brunt of that. He probably wants to come out and say that, but he can't because The Rock's on the TKO board. Triple H probably wants
The
to
Rock.
Go, yeah.
Even if he wasn't. Even if he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to start that drama.
That. No.
Yeah.
I did notice Triple H when he kept saying they ushered in a new era last night. Michael Cole had one line when Gunther beat Cena that felt so locked and loaded and pre-planned and forced, where he said, tonight, professional wrestling was greater than sports entertainment, or it beat sports entertainment. And that to me felt like Triple H feeding him that line where he's saying the Vince era is over. The Triple H era has fully been ushered in. Like that, this was a transition period, and now it's fully Wrestling's back and sports entertainment's dead. And I think there was a sick and twisted part of Triple H's mind that thought hardcore wrestling fans will love that, because for so many years we were upset about Vince not acknowledging even the term wrestling. But it's like, yeah, it's just not like that. They were chanting Super Cena last night. I tweeted.
Yeah.
That was the thing that he was hated for the most throughout his whole
Right.
career. And it became the thing. Everyone was like, we want to see one more Super Cena moment. It's like, what? Brandon Walker texted me. He said, I don't think we got one of those. The closest we got to it was him beating Dom for the IC title. But in the entire run, we didn't really get a huge triumphant, oh my God, that's the John Cena we love and remember. You know, he lost the Rumble. He won the Elimination Chamber, which was awesome, but he turned heel right away afterwards. And then he spent the next couple months being a heel and, you know, forcing the fans to chant against him and boo against him. And then once he turned face, we never got that huge triumphant moment. It felt like we were building to it at Saturday night's main event, but
I don't know.
Again, we gotta get over it.
I slightly disagree. I think him winning the IC title in Boston was the peak of his retirement run. And
agreed. That was the closest we got. Yeah.
Which, like, it shouldn't have been, you know, like that.
No,
that should not have been. Like,
he probably should have beat Gunther for the title at WrestleMania. If we knew what was going to play out with Jey Uso's title run, you probably should have done something different with Cody at WrestleMania. Done John Cena beating Gunther for 17 as a babyface, and him overcoming his old age or whatever. That was kind of the storyline going into the Rumble. I haven't won a match in so long, whatever. He overcomes that. He beats Gunther, and then you have him give Gunther the rub at fucking SummerSlam or something. And you could have had him versus The Rock, or you could have had him turn heel. And if The Rock was willing, he could have turned face on The Rock at SummerSlam or at WrestleMania and had The Rock as his final match even. Like, you could have gone all out. I'm sure you're asking a lot at that point to call The Rock back for it. But, like, The Rock did fuck him. There was the fact that he had to turn face by coming out on SmackDown the night before SummerSlam and just being like, I'm a face now.
Yeah. Seriously. Like, that's a big part of what turned me off this past year is I think that might be one of the first times I can recall where WWE just had, like, they just told us, they're like, man, it sucks. Sorry, it didn't work out, but he's a babyface.
Yeah.
Now. There's no explanation.
So strange. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. He just is. And you guys get it.
And everyone was like, all right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not?
Anyway, I get it. I already bought the shirt. Yeah. Did you watch any of the undercard?
No. I came home.
Pretty good, to be honest. I like it.
I'll probably go back and watch it. But
Cody and Oba had major chemistry and I know there was a lot of people that wanted Oba to go over and make a big statement, and they did the fuck finish. I am a little bit old school in that, like, I was like, you can't put Oba over the fucking champ, especially after John Cena gave him the passing the torch moment at SummerSlam. Like, you can't just have him
lose
to a guy that's not even on the main roster. Dude, it was awesome. The match was great. I thought Bayley versus Sol Ruca was pretty good. They had a rough botch in the middle that slowed things down, but they got the crowd back after that. And then AJ Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater was exactly what you'd expect it to be. It was flips every 2 seconds, fast-paced, crazy. So it was like, again, good show overall. Just they fumbled at the goal line. Tough.
It is what it is. I'm just hoping that we can move on, and, like, again, it's a catch-22.
We'll move by, like Cena said, by the Royal Rumble. We're going to be moved on.
I forget. Yeah. Like,
and he's right.
Sure, because we'll be complaining about the fucking Royal Rumble being in Saudi.
Yeah.
Like, the finish. We'll be like, why the fuck am I watching the Royal Rumble at 8 a.m.? But the catch-22 for me is that I do believe John Cena deserved a year-long retirement tour.
Mm-hmm.
But for them to just fumble it this badly, it creates a lot of distrust with the audience. And I don't blame anyone. Like, for me to sit here and say, all right, yeah, like, the retirement tour was kind of just like, it was hanging over everything else because you had to, like, Cena's not a mid-carder. Like, he's not just going to, like, go out there and have the first match and then you just, have whatever. Like, he's going to be the central story. It's his retirement tour. So it was kind of a throwaway year for me because you weren't able to have many stories that could overshadow or be greater than what's John Cena's storyline and who is he feuding with and who's his next opponent. Like, you know, because we're waiting to see Edge show up or Chris Jericho come back, and none of that happened. And the fact that you just had like the kingdom of Saudi Arabia bought the last CM Punk match, so there's no way that they can run that back as his final opponent. And because Orton was a babyface during John Cena's heel run, it's like, all right, well,
not even showing up.
Yeah,
Orton's in Saudi right now. He's in Saudi. He wasn't even in the promo package. I don't know. Him, Liv Morgan, Grayson Waller, they're all like touring Saudi. They're at zoos every day. I'm seeing them with like koalas and shit. CM Punk was very explicit, being like, there's nothing in the world that would hold me back from being here for Cena's final match. It almost felt like it was a shot at Orton. It was so strange to me that Edge, I understand. He's in AEW now. He's filming Percy Jackson or whatever. Probably a tough ass thing to get him there. You couldn't get Orton there in the front row for Cena's final match. He better induct him into the Hall of Fame or something at that point. Like, strange. Also, how about Elias getting the call?
That was crazy.
Shocking. Most shocking moment of the night, probably. Seeing him in the front, I was like, whoa, no disrespect.
I was watching by myself and verbally out loud. I was like, is that fucking Elias? Yeah, I saw someone, like, the joke was going around, like Haku's front row to make sure that John Cena does business tonight.
I said I would have reverse Montreal screw jobbed him last night if he demanded to lose. If it was John Cena saying I want to lose, I would have sent him out there and fucking made the call as the ref. Ring the bell as soon as he's in the STF.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole thing.
The Kevin Owens moment was nice too. Like, huge pop when they gave each other a big hug, which was cool.
Yeah, it was good to see KO.
RVD, it was great to
see
Zayn. Sami Zayn with his kid too. That was like a sweet moment with Cena. Like, the last person Cena talked to before his final match was Sami Zayn's kid. He was like, "Here we go, gotta go to work," or whatever he said. And then Cody cried for like 20 minutes afterwards. Did you see
he's a crybaby. He's a crybaby.
No,
he is. He cries about everything.
He's a genuine guy.
Yeah, he's a crybaby.
He wears his heart on his sleeve.
He is a legitimate, like, by definition, a crybaby. Yeah.
No, he's not a baby.
I've seen Cody Rhodes cry. When did he come back? 2022?
It sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've already seen Cody Rhodes cry more times since his comeback in 2022 than I've seen my father cry in my entire life.
No.
Yep.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
No. Yes, Papa Carrabis listens to In My Life. He doesn't shed a little tear.
No. He's stoic as fuck. I've seen him cry like twice in my entire life. Maybe once. I think I can only recall.
It sounds like a him issue. Doesn't sound like a Cody issue. Sounds like he's got a tear duct deficiency.
He might. I don't know. I haven't asked him about it, but yeah, I've seen Cody cry a lot.
Did you see, speaking of crying, you see the kid crashing out on Gunther before the match?
No.
Oh, hysterical video. You're going to have to watch it. It's this little kid in the front row who I think they cut to at one point. He kind of looked like that kid from Brussels, like the almost like Augustus Gloop look. And he's just screaming. Let me see if I can pull it up. He's screaming in Gunther's face. He's like, "Take my hat. I dare you. You're not going to do anything." And Gunther's like, "No, it's because I'm civilized and you're not." He's like just going back in his face. Wade Barrett's turn. Yeah, look. He said, "Everyone hates you." Gunther goes, "That's not true."
That's not true. Gunther seems like he's a good guy. I mean, I saw like the by the year transformation.
Oh my God.
It's a whole different person. Like,
it's crazy. And listen, respect to everyone for bettering themselves. But am I crazy for saying he was more intimidating when he was thick Gunther, when he was Walter, when he was fucking wide as a minivan? I loved watching that guy wrestle. I still love watching him wrestle. But I feel like the chops and the intimidation factor were a little bit more when this guy looks like he's a double load and he's coming towards you. It's like, oh my God.
Either way.
I watched him wrestle. I've told the story before. Joey Janela's spring break in Orlando before WrestleMania 33. And it was like 2 a.m. He had a match against one of the former Mounties, I think he was, PCO, he goes by now. But he was wrestling like a 60-year-old guy. This guy's doing moonsaults at 2 a.m. in a gym in Orlando. It was sold out. It was awesome. But I basically knew in that moment, like, this guy's a fucking superstar. I didn't think he would have to lose the weight to become a superstar. I thought he was just going to be a thick boy superstar. But apparently, story goes, they were like, hey, why don't you get in shape? And he got in shape so fast, they were like, we're pushing you to the moon. You could do anything. You're the most coachable guy in the world.
I mean, not a bad gig.
All right. Let me get your top 5 Cena rivals first. Before we get into matches, who are your top 5 Cena rivals?
Okay. So Edge, Punk.
Number 1? Or is this not in order?
Yeah, I didn't pre-plan this. I just did the matches.
Okay. All right.
So, let me
give me your 5 and try to order them in your head.
Yeah, out of order. Edge, Orton, Punk, Batista, Brock.
You're forgetting a huge one. The Rock.
You consider The Rock a huge one?
For John Cena?
Yeah.
His biggest match of all time was against The Rock. And they had a 2-year-long feud from WrestleMania 27 to WrestleMania 29.
I have one of those matches on my top 5 matches, but like, okay. I don't know that like
WrestleMania 28, highest bought WrestleMania ever, I think. Well, 23 was up there as well. 28 is like biggest WrestleMania ever.
But he lost.
Correct. But The Rock is still one of his biggest rivals because of that.
Doesn't make my list.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. We're gonna have different lists.
Yeah. Because I'm just going back to like the OVW days, and it's like those guys coming out together, like Batista, Orton, Cena.
Fair. So how would you order your list like that?
Edge, Punk, Edge, Orton, Punk, Brock, Batista.
Okay. My list was Punk number 1 for me. Rock number 2.
Okay.
Edge number 3. Orton number 4. AJ Styles number 5.
Okay. So I loved their matches. The matches were yes. Their matches were fantastic. I just like rivalry.
There wasn't much story. There wasn't. It was I want to be the best. It was the face of TNA versus the face of WWE finally clashing. And that is why it's like it's number 5 for me. There were much better stories and promo battles. I think the matches were so good and they kind of threw a perfect game. They never had a bad match with each other that it elevates to that level. My honorable mentions would be Kevin Owens and Umaga. I think the two of them had like very unique rivalries with Cena that maybe weren't his biggest rivalries, but like were my favorites. The Kevin Owens and Umaga ones.
What was that? 07?
Umaga was 07, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I stopped watch wrestling when Kane took his mask off in 03, and I came back when he put it back on in 11. So I missed a lot of his prime years. I've gone back and watched a lot of these matches, obviously.
And honestly, Cena's in-ring prime, I think, hit after you came back. Like, I think his in-ring, and yeah, I think his best matches were post 2010.
But he was already like Super Cena in
big time.
05, 06. Yeah.
I just think his in-ring matches were much better in, say, the United States Open Challenge era than they ever were in his career, like prior to that.
Yeah. To me, it was like he was new to me-ish then, but also in my mind was like almost a nostalgia act in like 2013.
Yeah. But that's why I feel like his like 2014, 2015 run was also so hailed, where it was like, holy shit, this guy's breaking out springboard stunners and Hurricane Ranas against Punk and, you know, the Raw match in 2013. He started actually like working on his craft, it seemed like. He took the "you can't wrestle" shit to heart, and he was always better than the "you can't wrestle" crowd would give him credit for. But he really did like expand his move set, start working a completely different style. I tweeted today, I think putting Kevin Owens over clean in Kevin Owens' first main roster match was like a huge statement. It made him, and it also like kind of made the next generation. It validated the style of wrestling and the style of wrestler that fans were starting to gravitate towards in that era, where the indies were on fire with the Kevin Owenses, the El Genericos, the Young Bucks, the Bullet Club, all of them on fire. Fans were loving that style. And for in literally his first match on the main roster, Kevin Owens to be one of the first people to beat Cena clean in his career was like Cena putting the stamp on it and being like, yeah, I'm with this. I understand why you like this.
I know Vince would never, but don't you think Triple H would allow for an El Generico run in WWE? Or at least an appearance, a reference.
An appearance, yes. A run is tough because Sammy's just like Sami Zayn himself is so over. That name, that commodity, like everything about him is so over that I feel like Generico, like as much as fans do love Generico, I love Generico, I'd go nuts for it. I feel like 90% of the WWE audience would be like, what's going on? Why is he coming out like this?
I think how they would do it. Remember how legendary Triple H's sell was when Mankind said your match isn't going to be against me, it's going to be against Cactus Jack, and Triple H went fucking nuts. Like if Sammy was feuding with Kevin Owens and they were going to do like I quit, Hell in a Cell, whatever,
one of their retirement matches.
Yeah, and it's like your match isn't going to be with Sami Zayn, it's going to be with El Generico, and he's like, no.
Although I do love the ongoing, it's been going on for like 6 years at this point, the Kevin Owens storyline, that he's the only person on the roster that sees through like bullshit. He was the only one that knew Ezekiel from Elias. He's the only one that references the show week to week. He gets annoyed when people will interrupt his promos before he specifically mentions them by name. He's like, I was going to mention you. I was going to call you out here. So I do love that as his little thing. He's the only smart person on the entire WWE roster. And they're like, yeah, that's a good gimmick for you.
He's one of my favorites.
And then your top 5 John Cena matches.
My top 5 John Cena matches. Okay, here we go. I'll start with number 5. And you're going to say that this is a miss, but this is my favorite.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because I was there and he went over. WrestleMania 29 versus The Rock.
Okay. I'm not going to say it's a miss. Match. I do. Listen, I do love that match on a very personal, sentimental way because I was there with my Cena signs and he won, like you said. Adult Bob Fox thinks the 28 match was a little bit better.
That's fine. This is just, these are not greatest Cena matches. These are my favorite. They're my favorite. I was there. At number 4, One Night Stand 2006 versus RVD.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
That crowd,
one of my favorites.
That was like you had to be there. That was a moment in time that if you haven't seen that match, just go back and take in the environment. Stands the test of time.
Timothy Chalamet's favorite pay-per-view.
Huh?
Timothy Chalamet's favorite pay-per-view.
Who's that?
He said One Night Stand 06. He's like the new hot actor. He's like number 1. He's in the Dune movies. He's the guy that just played Bob Dylan. He's awesome. He did Cody Rhodes' podcast. Everyone's been saying this guy's a big ball knower. He knows about everything. Goes on Cody Rhodes' podcast. He knew the Boogeyman shoot name. He knew RVD got suspended for weed. He said his favorite pay-per-view is One Night Stand 06. He talked to Triple H about wanting to go to a show at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Listen to this interview. You'll fall in love with this guy.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out. At number 3, the finale of the John Cena AJ Styles trilogy. This was Royal Rumble 2017. John Cena versus AJ Styles. This was
unbelievable.
Because I feel like I remember during this time period, they had done the first 2, and then we were getting the third one, and the first 2 were great, but everyone was like, we've already seen this. Like, what are they going to do that we haven't already seen? Blah, 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 blah. And they came out and put on a match where everyone was like, oh, fuck. Like, they
didn't leave the ring. Right. They didn't leave the ring once.
No. They're like, we have not seen this. So yes, the finale.
Cena's 16th title too. He wins his 16th championship at that.
Yes. The AJ Styles John Cena trilogy Royal Rumble 2017 is my number 3. You're gonna hate my number 2, and I don't give a fuck, Bob. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not gonna hate it.
You're gonna hate this pick. You're gonna hate it because you're gonna be like, it fine. You should have it in your top 5, but 2 is too high. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I can't even.
You already know what my number one is because number one is
I know
my
what
favorite.
your number one is. I know
my number one is my favorite match of all time. It's not my favorite, John Cena match. It's my favorite match of all time.
Oh,
So what do you think my number two is?
the Firefly Funhouse.
The
match?
Firefly Funhouse is my number two. Yeah.
I know my Jared.
Yeah. WrestleMania 36, Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse match. I was actually gonna do like the first. What was that? It was WrestleMania 30, their first
30,
WrestleMania match. But yeah, I like the Funhouse. The Firefly Funhouse match was so I like the build up and the promos, like the Eminem, this is my legacy. That was WrestleMania 30.
Mm-hmm.
The build up to 30 was greater, but the execution of 36,
I would agree on that. Yeah, that Eminem video package is incredible. They were on one for WrestleMania 30. That the Monster video package for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Oh, they were fucking on one, the video department that year. And then your
Big
number
time.
One.
Money in the Bank 2011. Yeah, CM Punk. Yeah, that's my favorite match of all time. It's a Thanksgiving tradition. We watch it every year on Thanksgiving.
Did it this year, I assume, right?
Every year. This is the reason for that is because the Colt Cabana interview podcast dropped on Thanksgiving. So the year that it came out, I believe it was 2014.
Sounds
right. Yeah. The podcast dropped on 14 and we were like listening to it in the car. And then we got there. We like listened. We were like, we got to we like huddle around and listen to it. And then that evolved into, oh, who's CM Punk? Like other people like, who's CM Punk? All right. So then we put on like, this is the match you want to see. If you want to know who CM Punk is, we put on Money in the Bank 2011. And then it just became a Thanksgiving tradition of, we just watch Money in the Bank.
I love that. Yeah. Honestly, I had a Thanksgiving tradition for a couple of years after that podcast of just listening to that podcast. When it came out, I remember my mom being like, you got to help clean up. And I was like, I can help, but I need earbuds in. CM Punk just dropped the podcast.
Yeah.
And like the next year, I was like, I'll throw that podcast on. It's still a fascinating listen, the way he's, even just him talking to Colt Cabana, like their best pals at this point, is a fascinating listen when you go back and you're like, fuck.
I think it does make me sad that they're just not friends anymore, but
I know it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my list is going to sound a little bit similar to Jared's. I'm kicking it off with John Cena versus Rob Van Dam at ECW One Night Stand 2006, and a match where I loved Rob Van Dam growing up, but I was definitely against him in this one because he was the outsider from ECW. Cena was kind of like my guy already at this point. It was like Cena, Mysterio, Shawn Michaels. I would root for those three over everyone else. So I was rooting kind of against Rob Van Dam, but it was one of the first matches that I could feel like rooting against the face is a little bit cool, where I was like, at the end of this, I was like, I'm mad, but I'm not that mad. It's kind of awesome. Like the way everything went down. I was really mad at Edge and Paul Heyman. I was like, RVD, whatever. Edge and Paul Heyman fucked him. Number 4 for me is the finale of the John Cena AJ Styles trilogy, the match at the Royal Rumble. I watched this one at the office because I was the foreplay producer at the time. And I was trying to describe wrestling to Trent and Riggs. And I remember this match, I was just losing my mind. And they were like, I think they kind of conceded. They were like, that was pretty awesome. Like we kind of understood why that was cool. I was standing on the bar. I was screaming. I was like throwing out. It was like the Dave Meltzer 5-star meme where he's like throwing out the stars. Number 3, I have a match that I tipped before I mentioned. Another one where it's a personal favorite, a personal list. John Cena versus Kevin Owens, Elimination Chamber 2015. Kevin Owens' main roster debut. Another one where I remember watching it and just being shocked at the end when Kevin Owens went over clean. And I was at my brother's, and even he was like, he didn't know Kevin Owens from the Indies at that point. And I had been following his career. My brother just knew him as like, oh, that guy that you designed for sometimes. And we were both like, he beat him clean? He just clean? John Cena, Kevin Owens? Number 2, easy pick for me. I'm almost surprised it wasn't on your list. I know it's not like a personal favorite guy of yours, but John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, SummerSlam 2013.
Isn't that
incredible, just pure wrestling match?
Daniel Bryan introduced the running knee as his finisher for the first time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't tap Cena out. Cena didn't want to give the tap out rub exactly.
Yeah.
But that match is so fucking good. Holds up so well. I think it's one of Cena's best like technical wrestling matches where you're like, what can Cena actually do as a technical wrestler? You watch that match and you're like, oh yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time. And you have the devastating ending of Triple H given the pedigree afterwards. The drama's at an all-time high. And my number one, just like you, is Cena versus Punk Money in the Bank 2011, which is not Punk's favorite. Punk likes the Raw match better that led into WrestleMania 29. I always think that's a little strange. I do love that Raw match. I think it's one of the best matches in Raw history for sure. But the fact that he thinks that's better than the Money in the Bank match always blows my mind. Even Cena's, Cena doing the Hurricane Run at the end, I love. It's sloppy. You know, it's not like a perfect flaw. Like, they have their sloppy moments in that match. The pile driver's sick, but it always not rubbed me the wrong way. Just was strange to me that Punk doesn't pick the fucking one in Chicago where he was treated like a god.
Right. Like the loudest pop maybe of all time. Like since Stone Cold Steve Austin for sure.
And maybe the greatest, like other than Rock Hogan at WrestleMania, the greatest like crowd involvement in a match ever.
Yeah. For sure. That was the like, you can't wrestle, and he goes, me? No, him? Okay. All right. I'm surprised neither of us had the Edge Unforgiven match on there.
There's so many. Edge Unforgiven, Umaga Royal Rumble. Honestly,
no Raw Randy Orton representation.
I know. The tough thing is they had so many matches. None of them were mind blowers. I think their best match was their first one, SummerSlam 07. They had a great Hell in a Cell match in 2013. That was really good.
What was it like?
The I Quit match? The I Quit match is pretty iconic, I guess.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, there were so many that I had on my list that I was like,
I wasn't gonna do it. If I really couldn't get like a solid top 5, I was gonna consider the Rumble in 08 just because I was like, it doesn't really count as a John Cena match, but like it's a John Cena moment, his return. What did he tear, his fucking tricep or his pec or something?
Yeah. The Cena match or the Rock Cena match at 28, I think is up there with the best. One that I wanted to mention, the Raw match that I like better than the pay-per-view match, him versus Shawn Michaels in 07 after WrestleMania 23. They went like 56 minutes in London. And it's another one of those like, oh yeah, he had it in 2007. When people said he couldn't wrestle back then, 5 moves of doom. No. He could go 56 minutes with Shawn Michaels in the main event of Raw and blow everyone's minds.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's up there for me. The AJ SummerSlam match, I wanted to do one per opponent. But the AJ SummerSlam match was great where AJ actually beat him.
Yeah, they didn't have a bad match.
I mean,
they didn't have a bad match.
No. Never had a bad match. What else did he have? I mean, they've got him against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. That was great. I was going to put that classic fatal 4-way where they do the Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music finish.
I was going to put the first Brock squash match on here, not because it was a great match, but like if you're talking reactions, everyone was like, what the fuck did we just watch?
Dude, him and Brock at Extreme Rules 2012, Brock's first match back, which another weird booking decision to have him lose his first match back, but that one's great. Him, Brock, Seth, Royal Rumble is up there. Him and Seth at SummerSlam before Jon Stewart interfered was like they were on their way to having a flawless 5-star classic.
Yeah, I remember that. I was so angry.
So angry.
Yeah. No
Undertaker Punk Night of Champions is pretty good. Well, they ruined the Undertaker match when they gave him 2 minutes at WrestleMania. They cut the time to literally 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, they did it too late.
Way too late. Way too late.
That's
all I had though. Cena wise.
The Kane ambulance match.
None of the Kane matches make it on.
They were pretty good.
None of the Kane matches make it on. I like the Ray match when he won the title.
The what?
The Ray match when he won the title to become champ against CM Punk again. People hated that they took the title off Ray in the same night. I hated that.
What about the Big Show match? That was what launched it all.
WrestleMania 20, great one. He had a great steel cage match against the Big Show. No Way Out 2012 to like fire John Laurinaitis. Everyone is not looking forward to the match, and then it wound up being kind of awesome. John Cena versus Edge versus Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels, Backlash 07. That's the one I was talking about where Shawn Michaels fucking Sweet Chin Music's Cena and he goes down onto Edge and that's the pinfall. Oh, so good. Such a good finish. Him and Kevin
Yeah,
Owens have, I think, a trilogy. I think they have 3 together that are great.
what's his best Triple H match?
WrestleMania 22, which isn't even great because the crowd tries to hijack it.
Yeah, because they went on after what?
They went on after a lot of good matches that night. They had Ray winning the World Heavyweight Championship. They had Shawn Michaels versus Vince McMahon. They had Undertaker versus Mark Henry in a casket match.
Yeah, I remember that.
They got a double wide casket for Mark Henry on that one.
And he panicked the entire time.
He had a good Triple H match, triple threat at WrestleMania 24 against Triple H and Randy Orton. It was pretty good. But I was looking down the list of his WrestleMania matches. I love John Cena. He's the GOAT. He's almost the opposite of Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. Like, I was trying to rank them, and I was like, all right, I think the best one is against The Rock at WrestleMania 28. After that, I think it's against Shawn Michaels 23. After that, Big Show WrestleMania 20. And then after that, there's really no more matches that I'm like, that's great. And he has 17 WrestleMania matches. But you look at the bottom of the list, and it's like, match against Austin Theory, that really sucked.
Yeah.
Match against The Undertaker, that really sucked. Match against The Miz main event, that really sucked. Edge versus Big Show versus Cena WrestleMania 25, that really sucked.
You're missing one, Bob.
Which one?
The Firefly Funhouse match.
Well, that's towards the top of my list.
Oh,
I have
okay.
that ranked 6. That like I have WrestleMania 28 against The Rock, 23 against HBK, 20 against Big Show, 22 against Triple H, 26 against Batista. I think is pretty good actually. And then I have the Firefly Funhouse match. And then after that, I have like the WrestleMania 24, 29. I don't even think the first match against Bray is, amazing. We talked about it. It was over dramatized with the, do I use the chair? Do I go against my legacy? It was like, all right, we get it. You're an actor now. Even the JBL match where he wins the title at WrestleMania 21, it's fine. It's like, it's not bad at all, but it's not like a great match that had the crowd on the edge of their seats. The Cody Rhodes match this year wasn't great. Him and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice, we all just knew was a proposal in the ring coming. That was a weird vibe. So you look down the list, and his best matches were like on Raw and other pay-per-views, not necessarily a WrestleMania guy. But maybe Saturday night's main event is like a metaphor for his career in that way. Didn't always turn out the way you wanted it to, but John Cena certainly gave his best, gave an A for effort.
Also, I saw that TikTok that you did recently where it was like, speak when you see a wrestler greater than John Cena, and you just spoke.
Getting roasted for that. Yeah, everyone's saying you spoke for everyone, but I was standing there, and Travi had the thing, and he would go to the next wrestler, and I wouldn't speak, and then he would just look at me, and I was like, I guess I should say no, so he goes to the next wrestler. I didn't realize I'm getting roasted for it.
Yeah, you deserve
People
it.
are also saying I just, because I didn't speak, or I said no for like Bret Hart and Undertaker and Rock and Stone Cold, and it's like, I don't know what scale we're going on either. If it's like if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. But if I were running a wrestling company, you get to draft one of these people for your wrestling company. Yeah, Shawn Michaels would be my first pick. Cena would be my second on that list. In terms of what I said, it's the longevity. It's sure Bret Hart was a better in-ring wrestler than Cena. Absolutely. I'll give you that 1,000 times out of 1,000. Could he cut promos as good as Cena? No. Could he sell merch as well as Cena? No. Could he pack houses as well as Cena? No. Could he be in movies like Cena? No. All around, I was going with. Movies do benefit you.
How?
You go off, do a movie, you come back, you're a much bigger star. When The Rock
you go off
came
and do a
back
movie,
for
you
WrestleMania
don't come
28,
back.
he was the biggest star he's ever been.
Yeah, but then you lose them to Hollywood. No one's going to do a movie and then coming back and working a full-time schedule.
Roman went off, did Hobbs and Shaw while he was full-time.
He had like a 30-second scene in that movie.
Well, made him a bigger star, didn't it? Everyone was like, there's
so.
the guy from Hobbs and Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jared. Anything else?
What month are we in? December?
Yep.
I'm hoping that Triple H is listening to the feedback from the fans, and
you're gonna say listening to this.
I hope Triple H is listening to this podcast right now and makes the Royal Rumble super exciting, because I feel like
I hope so too.
We deserve a treat. Like, I know that like the bloodline.
I thought last year's Royal Rumble was super exciting. Jay winning at that point, I was like, holy shit, they did what
everyone
none of us thought they were gonna do.
I like Jay.
Cena was gonna win, so it was like, all right, they fucking swerved us at the Rumble. We didn't see that coming.
I guess, but it's like, yeah, you swerved us, but not like that. You know, it's like we want to swerve, but not that one.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, I love Jay. So I mean, I was happy with it, but I know the smart marks were not pumped about it, but it is what it is. I just like give me some surprise. Like there were no surprises last year. There was no like
we got a couple here and there.
Oh,
I don't remember, but I remember being like, all right,
exactly.
they gave us a couple surprises. Alexa Bliss was a big surprise last year. I remember
that wasn't a surprise. I knew she was coming back. She told me.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll let you get back to Alexa then.
Fine, thank you.
All right, Jared. I'll talk to you. You know, maybe we'll do a pre-show Rumble if things are heating up by then. Maybe we'll definitely do a post-show Rumble. We'll have to, leading into the road to WrestleMania. Maybe we'll do that the night of the Rumble since it's going to finish by like noon.
Oh, last thing, Bob. Last thing for me.
Okay.
People have been asking if we will stream WWE pay-per-views. I would say
that'd be fun.
I would say probably not the Rumble because like I'm probably gonna have people over again.
Probably be locked in for that with a party vibe, yeah.
Yeah, but I think if there's like another show,
Chamber would be a super fun one to do it actually. Like,
yeah,
we're all getting excited for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Next year we'll do Wrestle. I'll probably wind up going back to Vegas. I would imagine. I usually go every year. But when it's in Saudi, guess what? I ain't going. So maybe next year we could stream WrestleMania 2 nights. Make it a fucking spectacular.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Can we sell out House of Blues like you did for socks?
I feel like we might be able to.
Well,
Yeah,
WWE would sue the fuck out of us for that.
No, because
right?
we're not. No, I don't think so. We probably like we wouldn't be
Talk
able
to
to
Alexa.
show...
I'll talk to Trips. We'll see if we could get some rights, some clearance.
Yeah, I'll give her a call.
Yeah,
she'll
Saudi Mania.
She'll pull some strings. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jared. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.